now we're going to make our continuous bias to cover our welt cord that's going to be put on the slipcover. And to do this, if you go ahead and take a half a yard of fabric, 54 inches wide, and you fold it in half and sew the 3 sides, and I've drawn arrows here so you can see how I sewed 3 sides. This will get you ready for cutting continuous bias. Now that we've got our 3 sides sewn together, we're going to draw a diagonal line from one corner to the other. Now, as you get better at this, you can eyeball it and you do not have to draw a line. And I'm just using a marker, a nice dark marker so you can see well. It is not my recommendation that you use a marker on fabric, but in this case I'm using it so you can see what I am doing. Now I'm going to clip one of the corners, and I'm going to get into the fabric and I'm going to cut only the top layer. And then when I get to that other corner, I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. So now I have one side cut, and now I'm going to flip it over to the other side. And now I'm going to find those 2 corners that I previously cut, and they've been cut off, so I know I'm going to draw my line from the other 2 corners. And I'm going to clip off the corner, and again I'm going to get inside those 2 layers of fabric and only cut the top portion and cut off the end of that corner. Now I'm ready to open up my fabric. And what I have here actually is a continuous circle. And I'm going to lay that flat onto the table. All right, we're going to lay down our fabric and we're going to fold it up probably about 3 to 6 inches from the top fold. We'll have this other fabric come up to that point. You don't want to be any closer, and you'll see why in a minute. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and measure just a little bit over 1.5 inches, and we're going to draw a line. Now we have this all cut. I had a little bit of problems getting through this very thick fabric. What would have been ideal was to have an electric rotary shears, and it would have cut through these pretty quickly. So if you come across denims and corduroy and things like that, you might consider that. Now here's what we have. Kind of looks like a hula skirt. And now we're going to go ahead and open it up and lay it on the table. Now we're going to take this clear ruler and we're going to go ahead and mark where we're going to cut next. Now if you laid your ruler like this and drew your lines, you would have a straight line here and you would end up with continuous circles. So that's not what we want. We want a continuous bias, not circles. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw, just going over one, we're going to draw our lines like this. Now remember, this was the space that we left at the top when we cut. And that's why you don't want to cut too far up to the top, because you need this angle to cut with. Now we're going to go ahead and cut it. And hopefully we marked it right. And now we have continuous bias to cover our welt cord. Now we're going to go ahead and cover our welt cord with our continuous bias.